Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Nathan Morris. He has a brand new EP out. It is called Yet, and I'm super excited to talk to him all about it. Nathan, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here. How are you? What's going on?
I'm awesome, Austin. Thank you very much for making
You're
time. This means a
welcome.
lot.
Nice. I mean, good music deserves to be talked about, and that's exactly why you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where are you in the world?
I am in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm from Owensboro, and if anybody knows where
Okay.
that is, I'll give you a dollar. It's about an hour and a half from Louisville. Yes.
I will not be getting a dollar, but I know where Louisville
There you
is.
go.
So
Yes, yes, yes. Churchill
very cool.
Downs. Just go west about an
Nice.
hour and a half. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. What's the music scene like there these days?
Louisville has a great music scene. Louisville
Nice.
has, of course, Jack Harlow. Louisville also
Oh, that's
has,
right.
there's Houndmouth from Louisville. A lot of really
Okay.
good independent artists, incredible venues in Louisville as well. They're very much supportive of their local artists. It's nice. It's refreshing.
That is refreshing because a lot of people are just like, well, we don't want another person moving here and doing that whole
Yep.
thing. So, yeah,
Yes.
totally understand that.
Yeah.
Listen, so before we started recording, I let you know that I'm loving this EP. I've listened to it a few times at this point, and dude, your vocals are like sending tingles down my spine. The
Wow.
entire production of the thing is fantastic. Thing is though, is like I not that I'm having trouble learning what it's about, but I find it's always better to know the story behind these songs from the person itself. So I guess what directly inspired this record?
I grew up, and many can relate to this. It's in a tumultuous environment as a child, a lot of traumatic events, and I would turn to writing. And
Yeah.
I would write. I would write in a journal, and then the journal then became poems, and the poems ultimately become songs that were so terrible that you sang in someone's garage and recorded on
Sure.
GarageBand. But specifically, I actually have another life and world in the funeral profession. I've been a funeral director in the funeral profession for 13 years,
Wow.
and it has been one of the most life-giving
Yeah.
opportunities to meet people at their most delicate of moments. But we had this little thing called the pandemic, which I am making light of something that is so heavy, and it took so much from us. Not only that, but more than likely someone that we
Yeah.
love. And at this particular time, I was overseeing 12 funeral homes, and my
Oh
mental health was
my.
shot. I believe, and I'm an advocate for mental health. Mental health
Yeah.
awareness is critical, and I didn't have anyone to take my stress grievances to middle of the pandemic. So I did what I did as a child. I turned to a notebook and I started to write. And then I sent a
Wow.
text message to my friend and producer, Nathan Walters, in Nashville. And I said, Walters, I have to record. And that first song was Yet. And
S-
that is how this entire project was inspired wholly by my works and what I was experiencing during the pandemic.
That is wild. Honestly, I can't
Yep.
imagine being in that profession during a time where it was probably as busy as it's ever been and
Yes,
taking that on.
it's 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 like a blur when I think back on those
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
years, and I don't even mean to giggle. It's like a nervous, almost very uneasy thing to think about.
Oh,
Bec
yeah.
because you meet people during, the most delicate times in their lives, and then magnify that, multiply that. You don't have the resources, you don't have, you know, you only have so many buckets as a person, like, you can
Yeah.
fill other people's buckets and then find that you're depleted. I mean, it was a constant depletion, and it took a lot out of a lot of people, and,
Wow.
but it also inspired so much because it created an opportunity for me with these songs to really connect authentically. It's
Yeah.
that's why people are having them resonate with them so much, I think, because
Sure.
it's like I went through that too.
Right. Do all these songs take from that time period?
They do, they do.
Okay.
Yet is, as a funeral director, and I keep going back to that because it's been largely unchanged profession for 200 years, and it's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
At a moment's notice, someone drops everything to care for a total stranger. That stranger ultimately
Right.
becomes welcomed into y I've been invited to more family reunions than I can
Oh my
count that I'm not
goodness.
family of, but at the side of a chapel, for instance, that last moment before, you tell the family who is sitting around or standing around the casket of someone they love more than anything. It's that last moment they're going to see their physical body on this side of life.
Yeah.
And I bore witness to that so many times. It's that I'm not ready to go yet moment that
Sure.
I interrupted all those times. I have goosebumps thinking about it. And that's what the song Yet is. I don't want to say goodbye yet. And
Yeah.
it really struck a chord.
No, and you share these bonds with these, seemingly strangers at the moment. And I know, you work with them for a short time to get all the ducks in a row. But at the same time, I can understand how they feel this, connection to you afterwards, even not even knowing you as a person.
Absolutely. There is this beautiful thing that death can offer. It can make us one of 2 things. It is
Yeah.
fact, 1, it makes us better, or 2, it makes us bitter, and I choose the better,
Wow.
and it's been amazing to be able to connect with so many.
That is incredible. Switching gears to a slightly brighter note,
Yes, yes.
not to take away too much from that, but I
No,
want to say though, obviously, I think the first impressions on this record very much come from your voice, and I'm gonna fully blow up your ego in the next 20 minutes. But
um,
I want to talk about the production here because I find that the production doesn't necessarily come into play in terms of detracting from you. It's very not quite minimalistic, but there's enough going on there to keep, your ears perked up, but it never fully overtakes. I find that your voice does the heavy lifting in terms of like the entertainment section, and the production creates the vibe and tone of everything, which in my opinion is kind of the perfect kind of record because this is a record that very much relies on lyrics. You're listening to the stories, you're making the connections there, and the music is there kind of just to prop everything up. So, with that being said, was that always the plan in terms of kind of blueprinting this record?
it was. I've worked
Okay.
with Nathan Walters, for
Yeah.
almost 2 decades. He gets my brain, he gets me,
Yeah.
and when we did a lot of this creation, it was him in LA or Nashville, but it wasn't me being physically in the studio with him.
Sure.
He would remote into my studio here, for instance, and help with, tracking of vocals, and whenever we were talking about what does this sound? What are we going to do with this? I really did want this to be a vocally, forward
Yeah.
project. I don't like to hide behind, uh, production,
No,
and
you shouldn't.
I don't think that, as I've developed and continue to develop, I'm wanting to constantly challenge myself with whether it be
Mhm.
a lyric or a vocal run, and I think we really struck a chord, and not only Walters, but another Nathan Danzler.
Mhm.
You may know him. He runs the Hit Lab. He's mastered One Direction and
Yeah.
Maren Morris, and he did all of this project too. And so he has a similar approach to a song, and it
Yeah.
all worked. And I'm grateful that you recognize that.
Oh my god, absolutely. It comes through so perfect. I mean, you can only imagine how much music I listen to, but it's things like this that really stick out and kind of have an imprint on your soul after
Wow.
you listen.
Wow. Thank you.
Um, when you were making this though, did you ever kind of single in on this is the genre of music I want to make? Because I'm personally having a tough time putting a label on it because I don't really know what to call it. Like it's, it's singer-songwritery, but it's got this, like, vibrant, slightly electronic production at the same time, like, I don't know, what's the pitch for it?
That's what I've always loved about it is I grew up on pop. I love pop
Yeah,
music. I I have always been a fan of, and I've enjoyed this singer-songwriter world that I kind of got into a little bit, but, artists like Lights, she's out of Canada, there's a lot of inspiration there, and if it's authentic, if it's what you're feeling, then you can't go wrong,
yeah,
and so I guess your answer is as good as mine. It's a little bit singer-songwriter, it's a little pop, it's a little
sure.
electronic, and it is just me.
Nice, man. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's genreless in a way, but it kinda is you. It's what you represent, and sometimes things don't necessarily need labels, and that's okay.
I love it. Thank you
Um,
for saying that.
you're welcome. In terms of going forward, and I don't wanna take too much, away from this EP, but are you the type of person that's always experimenting for the future? Like, do you have demos that didn't make it or ideas that you'd like to expand on?
I do. I had a song in particular that I'm excited to release. It's a song called A Minute More.
Okay.
13 years ago, it was originally written. And it was this very singer songwriter, acoustic driven, just a few pads. And it wasn't done. And I just sat on it for 12 and a half years. And so about
Yeah.
6 months ago, we dove in. I re recorded everything and it's done. So it got the stamp of
Nice.
approval. That's coming up. I don't wanna say I'm not excited, like, in this moment that is yet with it go 2 singles at Billboard, an
Of
independent artist. That's
course.
insane. I wanna sit in that moment but, we have another single coming out.
Well, yeah.
It's a song called Villain. It releases actually June the 7th, and
Very
that
soon.
is if you're going to put a label, you can stamp, you can highlight
Yeah.
pop on this track, and
Okay,
I'm
okay.
super pumped about Villain.
Nice. I'm super pumped about it. I mean, listen, like I said, this record very much has a specific feel to it. It flows cohesively. That's a fact. But at the same time, I feel like just with the roots of this production and your voice, you could do something really powerful. So I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Awesome.
Um, Another thing was, you've been very active on social media, and I want to know, what has the feedback been from people who have experienced these songs? Like, what do they think of them?
It's amazing, and I screenshot all of it, and I put it in this folder. A lot of times I'll scroll through the comments, which actually you don't wanna live in the comments.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, you definitely yeah, but
People hate
I
your guts for no
they
reason.
it's amazing. It's mind
Oh,
numbing, but
oh
you
yeah.
I don't give it any, energy, it doesn't take away mine, and I just keep going, and that's what people are saying, "These songs help me," or "These songs, help me realize that I'm valued and worth it,"
Yeah.
mental health, of course, and awareness is critical, and it's not all just, like, doom and gloom, that's not what I
No,
write
no,
about,
no.
I actually if wherever I meet you, that's what I say, I meet
Sure.
you here, and you're welcome, whatever platform, and the
Right.
response at every platform along the way is, "I feel appreciated. I
Yeah.
love this song is, my go-to." It's amazing to hear that response.
That is. I totally agree. I mean, listen, people need to know, if you're posting any content on the internet and you're reading the comments and they're negative, do not let it mentally affect you, because it will hurt. But at the same time, to realize these people are engaging with your content, which is boosting it to the people that want to see it. So ultimately, it's a good thing.
It's a
You
win-win,
know,
and every
it's a
single one of
win-win.
those negative comments, they're following you and your every move.
Right. Oh, yeah. They're paying
Th
attention. So
they
when you
are.
do something amazing by their standards, they can, shut up, and that's fine.
They can, but they won't, and that's okay.
Won't. They won't, but different conversation for a different time.
Amen.
Have you had the opportunity yet to play any of these songs in a live setting? Or
I
if you haven't, okay. Yeah, go for it.
I have, and it's
Okay.
been amazing. One of my actually favorite shows, which is wild, was, just a few weeks ago in Louisiana, Logansport,
Nice.
Louisiana. I played this festival, and they had really bad weather. It's an outdoor venue, incredible stage right on this river that was,
Nice.
running through. Well, the stage, as high up as it was flooded because the water had risen. So all of the production, the stage went to
God.
another area in the
Yeah.
festival, set all up. It starts raining. Then they move it to if you can picture a small town park, and in that small town park, you have, where, your country folk go and they have a family reunion barbecue cookout, like with the open air uh, had a roof, but that's
Yeah.
essentially it was like I felt like I was playing at a bingo hall essentially at first. So I want to paint the picture because this was like third time's
Okay.
a charm. So
Sure.
I was all in my head
Yeah.
And, I was like, "This is gonna be terrible, this is gonna be terrible." And then I have this thing where I'm like, "Just be present." And I got to play all these new songs is what I'm
Sure.
getting at. It was one of my most favorite shows I've ever had. Just the way in which we were
That's
able to connect with
very cool.
each other, and it was it was amazing. Someone who's followed me on social media, on TikTok specifically, drove over 3 hours, another I mean,
Nice.
that means that we're connecting, and these
Totally.
songs, they were received well, and I love performing them live. I love it.
That's awesome, and it's all about community. I
It
mean,
really is.
sometimes all we have is the internet, not only
Right?
for people to hear our music, but to create that base of people, and it has to feel incredible for someone to get in their car, stop their life, and come to see you. Like, what could be more special than that? That's
It's
amazing.
it's, I feel undeserving sometimes when I think about it.
I
Uh,
understand.
it's just, it's one of those things that I let everyone know all the time just because it's not something I acknowledge
Yeah,
all the time. In that instance, I did, but I I absolutely am grateful for that.
totally.
It's a beautiful thing.
Is there a song on your set list that you most look forward to playing throughout the set?
Yes, and it's a song called "Dangerous."
Okay, why?
I Because I don't think anyone listening to me now say that when you listen to "Dangerous," you will not feel it, because
Cool.
we've always, we've all, excuse me, have had these, moments where we fake it. Fake it because whether we're uncomfortable in a public environment or get
Yeah.
together or at our job or in a relationship, the
Mhm.
scenarios, and I I wrote that song because that's what I was experiencing, and that song is one of my favorites. I cannot sing that song live without getting my a lump in my throat every single time,
I
and
love that.
that I think, says a lot about it.
It does, and listen, people in the audience see that. Like, they're staring directly at your face. They can see and sense the emotion, and I find there's nothing better than a song like that to kinda bring people together, and, concerts or music festivals are all about the unity aspect. You can sit in your bed and, pop your headphones on and listen to music, but like I said, people choose to be there. They want to experience their favorite artist or their favorite song with people that believe and have those similar feelings, and to kind of, like, sing that song, bring people together, it's a win-win for everyone. I love that. That is
Yes.
super cool. I have a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
I wanna know, we're just about to hit the halfway point of this year. Obviously, so much has already happened in terms of music releases and getting things together. What does the back half look like? What are some things that you're looking forward to?
You you'd be amazed that uh, there's every artist band is grinding to get shows. After the pandemic, everyone's fighting for stage time.
Yeah,
So we are
totally.
booking for fall 2024 to
Yep.
be getting out there. I'm really excited about that. It's been a process. I'm very impatient. I'm like, let's go now. Well,
Right.
apparently there's some things called logistics. You
Mm.
can't drive from,
Throw 'em to the
Pasadena.
side.
Right. Yeah, it's fine. So, I'm really looking forward to that, and
Yeah,
daily conversations with management about that. So we're really excited. A lot of sync opportunities and brand
nice.
opportunities. Just a lot of collaborative efforts. I have a really incredible team that work with me. It's just I'm just
Awesome.
one piece. So that's what the back
Sure.
half looks like and into 2025. It'll obviously you'll have the bleed over into 2025 of the same.
Yeah, man. It's all about keeping the ball rolling. I
Amen.
understand. I'm an impatient person
Oh my
myself.
gosh.
When an idea strikes, I will be up all night trying to make it happen. You're
Yeah.
like, guys, come on. Like, we got we
I
can
know,
let's
I know.
go
Is that
there.
there's that commercial, it's about, like, I want money, but it's like, "It's my
Right.
money and I want it now. I just want it
Yes.
now. Let's
I
do it."
wanna
Yeah,
know.
I want it
Listen,
now.
that's motivation right there. You're getting out there,
Yes.
you're doing the thing. I love that. Um, okay, my last one for you here is it's basically for the person that is going to discover you from this interview. What is an opening message that you'd like to say to them before they listen to your music for the first time?
I'm honored to meet you here. You are worthy to be loved and cared for, and I am excited that these songs have found you, and I hope that they speak to you. And I always think about like what little nugget I can take away from anything, any interaction with someone or something. And I hope that there's just one little thing that you can kind of put in your pocket and take with you.
Awesome. Fantastic answer.
Yep.
Nathan, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. But before we wrap up, please let me plug your music and other things for you. So, for everyone out there, I'm speaking with Nathan Morris. The EP's title is a Yet. We will have the links in our article so that you can listen, share, follow along, stay tuned for more. I know there's more in the works. He said there's more in the works. And I personally, man, I'm just excited to hear more music. This was a great conversation. And I want to thank you so much.
Austin, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And if you're ever in LA playing a show, please let me know.
Absolutely. Thanks, Austin.
Awesome. Thank
Take
you.
care,
All
man.
right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.